Welcome to another episode of This Woman Works. I am your host, Mike Patton, and on this episode, we will be talking to the self-proclaimed Queen of Fun. How are you doing, Miss Avery? How are you doing?
I am amazing. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm great. Happy to be here.
Well, I didn't want to, to be honest, I didn't really want to mess up anybody's name. So can you please tell everyone who
Leah.
I'm speaking to? Thank you.
Leah.
Thank you. I'm always like apprehensive. I said people's names like 20 million times in my head, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, they're like,
I'm
stuff like
the same way.
that.
You cleaned it up real good. You cleaned it up real good.
Got you. But hey, I wanted to thank you for coming on the show. We're going to talk about your journey to where you currently are. The Queen of Fun didn't just happen overnight, so we got to figure out the details on the journey. We're going to do that more on this episode of This One Works. But of course, like every episode, we open up with the Black Girl Magic moment. And in this episode, we're going to talk about Miss Gladys Knight. Yeah, Miss
Yes.
Gladys Knight. Born May 28th, 1944 in Atlanta, Georgia. Gladys Knight started actually singing and performing actually at the age of 4 in her church, which is Mount Moriah Church in Atlanta, actually. At age 8, she won actually a talent contest. And at
Mm,
the age of 10, she performed at her brother Bubba's 10th birthday party with Bubba, her sister Brenda, and her cousins Eleanor and William Guest. They would later form a quintet called the Pips. So that was the original version of the Pips when she was 10 years old. Of course, they were actually named after a nickname of their cousin and manager, James Pip Woods. Another
mm,
thing probably people don't know. Um, After a few lineup changes, they signed with Brunswick Records in 1957. They had a few lineup changes, and then the group finally debuted in 1960 when Gladys Knight was only 16 years old. So they of course were there for 9 years, and then they would sign with Motown in 1966. Now they weren't considered a main group with Motown. They were like a second string label signing, is what they were kind of viewed as.
mm.
Well, I will say this: major hits like "I Heard It Through the Grapevine," which was number one in 1967, "The Nitty Gritty" 1969, "The Friendship Train" 1969, "If I Were Your Woman" in 1970. I don't want to do wrong. 1971, Grammy winning. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye in 1972, and Daddy Could Swear. All these songs became hits from a group that was considered a second string group. Of course, eventually they would leave Motown for Buddha Records in 1973, where they would record Midnight Train to Georgia, which was number one on the pop and R&B charts in 1973. Of course, I've got to use my imagination was another song that they had, and the way we were. Uh, Best thing that happened to me. Also, they recorded the soundtrack to the film Claudine
Mm.
with producer now Curtis Mayfield. Yeah, now you heard of Curtis Mayfield as a singer, but he was a bad boy as a producer too. So, of course, they had to face a legal separation from the Pips. She had to legally separate from them in the late 1970s. They would come back together in 1983. Then in 1987, she decided to go solo, and that's when she created the 1987 hit Love Overboard. Yes, I know you know that one. I know you was probably in your mama's car singing and dancing to it. I know everybody was, but that was one song. And then another song that people may not remember, she actually did the theme song to the License to Kill James Bond movie. I thoroughly remember that song. I was like, wow, man, Gladys Knight making James Bond movies. I remember that when I was a kid, but yeah, definitely. Gladys Knight has done a lot of great things. She will be 81 years old on May 28th of this year. The incomparable, the great Miss Gladys Knight. She is the Black Girl Magic moment for this episode. Do you have anything you want to add, Leo?
Man, I think you pretty much handled it all. It's very impressive to to see. I didn't a lot of things you mentioned. I had no clue. So I think it's awesome that you give these Black girl magic moments and give flowers to the people that have started and kicked off. You know the R&B and the music industry. So thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. I do have to. Let's see. I have to keep it going because I'm actually been in music for a while. It may be Shaka Khan next. It could be Stephanie Mills. Who knows? You just got to tune in to see the next episode of this woman. But hey, we're gonna stick on this episode of This Woman Works, and of course, we've got to find out more about my guest. Of course, we can't start at the present. We got to go all the way back to the beginning. Young Leah, what's going on? So now, young Leah,
Yes.
where did you grow up?
Chicago. I grew up in Chicago, South Side
I was,
Chicago.
I was gonna ask you what side because that's always important.
That's
They
important.
always put that out there.
It makes a difference.
Right, right. So I'm thinking in my mind, okay, if you do watch baseball, you're probably a White Sox fan, correct?
Exactly. I watch a little
Yeah,
bit of baseball, but if I was a fan, it would definitely be White Sox. Absolutely.
gotcha. I cheered for the rivals. They were the team on WGN when I was a kid. So that's I couldn't help myself at that point in time. I
I
was
get it.
big big Sammy Sosa, big Andre Dawson fan, Art
Yeah.
Grace. I thought Ron Sandberg was like the greatest thing since sliced bread for the Cubs. Yeah, I know. I'm going down the road, but let me get back on focus here. Um, so how was it growing up in the South Side of Chicago?
It was great. It was all I knew. South Side of Chicago. It was very it's very nostalgic. Growing up as a kid in the 80s was the best. We wasn't stuck to our gadgets and in the house all the time. We was outside playing ding dong ditch, riding our bikes, making sure we come home before the street lights come on.
Hmm.
So it was amazing, and I feel so sad and sorry for the kids of this generation because they won't experience that. And I think that kind of shaped us to be who we are as 80s babies and so far. I'm not sure how old you are, but yeah. Okay,
Well, I'm definitely an 80s baby, 1982. So there we go.
all right, 81. All right, let's go.
All right. All right. So, quick question. In terms of playing outside and being around, everyone else, did you have like some siblings? Did you have like some cousins, some best friends that you played with at all times?
All the time, all the time. I had a best friend, and uh, we were just we were always close. We went from day camp. We went to day camp together. We used to wear the same outfits. You know, so many fun memories of just hanging out and growing up together and experiencing life together and learning. So it was pretty cool. And then we have, of course, friends on the block that we always played with, and that's how I started getting into games. It was crazy because I didn't realize it at first, but I created a carnival in my backyard and had this cool idea because I used to love the Bozo Show. I used to love the Bozo Show. So I'm like, you know what? We could have a throw a ball in the bucket. I got a hula hoop. My dad created a swing using a tire to hang from a tree. So I had the whole carnival thing. So I started my entrepreneurship journey at an early age and charged my neighbors like 25 or 50 cents to come to the carnival in my backyard. So I just love playing games. And I was really shy growing up, and playing
Mhm.
games really helped me come out of that shell.
Okay. All right. So, you know what? I gotta ask. Everyone has their dream of things they want to do. I mean, me personally, I had a dream. I wanted to be an NFL player. Made it to college, didn't quite make it to the NFL. But what was the first thing you wanted to be growing up?
You know what? I think I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. My dad is an entrepreneur. It's all on my dad's side of the family. My grandmother, she had her own home daycare center. My auntie had her own dance studio. So I knew I wanted to be my own boss and have my own freedom. I just didn't know what that would be, what type of industry I would be in, but I knew I wanted to make my own money and be my own boss. I knew that much.
Okay, all right. So definitely the entrepreneurial spirit, like you mentioned. I would say the bug. I would say bit you young.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely. Bit you young with the carnival in the backyard and everything. But of course, the career. That kind of develops out of a few different things. Once you get older, you see a few things, whatever. We're going to get into that and kind of what you do for as a career for those that aren't aware, and more. We're going to get into that more, but we do have to take a quick commercial break. We got to pay these bills right here.
I know
We'll
it.
be right back. We'll be right back on tour. And I'm about to say my other show. Good gracious. We'll be right back on This Woman Works.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are two of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized and soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off of these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get this the EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
All right, we're back on This Woman Works. And, of course, we got Leia Avery, the so-called queen of fun.
So called.
Boy. I know, I'm cracking jokes. But
You starting
she is the
early.
queen of fun. She is the queen of fun. She is the queen of fun. But of course, we've got to find out. We found out, where you grew up and how you grew up, and kind of how that entrepreneurial spirit kind of, was within you from a young age. But we have to find out about your career. So, can you tell those that are not aware, what you do and what you have created?
Absolutely. So I'm the founder of Just Play Entertainment, which is a card game and event production company. We create cool card games to bring families and friends closer together, such as hip hop charades, the remix. Eerie, eerie, eerie. We also have the gospel version where you have to guess the black church sayings of hip hop charades. And we also have Petty or Not. Finally, a card game to call your friends or yourself out on your petty behavior. So, between these card games that we have, we also produce digital games as well. We have our own version of a Family Feud parody called America's Favorite Game Show. So we provide a whole bunch of fun experiences for families, friends, and even corporate teams, from Deloitte to Dell to Google to Microsoft. We're hosting events in Chicago, Nashville, and Atlanta as well.
Well, for those that are watching, if you look at the banner going below the screen, there is a website as well, justplayentertainment.com. Please go there, check it out, purchase these wonderful games. I actually have one of these games myself,
Do
and I
you?
definitely enjoy it. Yeah, I got one. I got the card game. So, yep,
Which you have got hip hop charades?
yep, got it. So,
Appreciate it. Thanks for supporting. Have you played
mm,
it? You
yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
played it?
Had me some fun. Had me some fun for sure. But of course, with creating games, you kind of mentioned and hinted at it earlier about the entrepreneurial spirit, and kind of getting involved in creating games. But officially, when did you first start creating games, and when did it kind of bite you in terms of like, oh, I can do this?
You know, it started right after I graduated. I went to Tennessee State University. Shout out to TSU. Um, and after college, I worked as an admission advisor. I went back home to Chicago and worked at, I think, DeVry University. It was two schools, and Kaplan University. But so at DeVry University, we had like so much downtime, it was so boring at times. So I came up with like trivia for my team.
Mhm.
And they loved it so much they always expected me to host a trivia game every single day. And we would always play card games and things like that. We would always play Taboo, and I really liked Taboo.
Mhm.
And I realized, like, how cool will it be to have a black version of Taboo where you're having people guess the hip hop slang? So I came up with my
Mhm.
own prototype using cardboard paper. I had a game night at the house, and I brought the prototype to work and played it with my coworkers, and they absolutely enjoyed it. I'm like, I'm on to something here. So from there, I found out how to get it manufactured by going to they have a toy and game expo every around Christmas time at Chicago at the Navy Pier. So I went to the toy and game expo. They had some seminars to teach you how to get your game produced and all that good stuff. So I took their advice and found the manufacturer in China and got my first 1,000 games produced. So that was back in 2000 and I would say 2008. So the first game we had was called Catch My Drift, which is now known as Hip Hop Charades. So
Okay.
that's how it kicked off. That's how everything kicked off.
Nice, nice. So, when did you actually start thinking at some point, this could actually be something I could really do seriously for a career, perhaps? When was that point?
You say it's something I could actually do what as a career?
Yeah, as a career, like seriously as a career potentially.
So at that time, before the games, I've had a couple of different entrepreneur endeavors. Um, from My dad had a popcorn shop selling cheese and caramel popcorn. So I came up
Mhm.
with the popcorn shop when I was in college at Hickory Hollow Mall selling cheese and caramel popcorn. And then
Oh, I
before,
worked there.
you say what?
I said I worked there.
Really?
Yeah, I worked there back in the day, but then I was having memories. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then before the shop with the popcorn shop, we had I had a kiosk in the mall selling mixed CDs. That's what we did when I was in high school in Chicago. So we did really, really good. Like I was a sophomore in college making some good money. So good that Sam Goody, that was there at the time, they complained to mall management and called the RIAA, the Recording Industry Association, to shut me down. So and then that was the time that Napster came out and all that. So all the people that had these little kiosks in the mall so they mixed CDs was gone. It was illegal at that time. So that's when we came up with the popcorn shop. And the popcorn shop did pretty good. They just got rid of our space because they wanted to enlarge the food court area. And so I always thought whenever you're an entrepreneur, you think whatever you got, this is it. So you just got to live a little longer and see what works and what sticks. But I knew that this was it because I was really, really shy. And when I got my first 1,000 games, it took a while for me to try to sell the games. I was too shy to talk to people and things like that. And I'm like, Leah, you better get over this shy stuff. And my games just sit in the basement collecting dust. So I had to just push myself, and I knew I was on to something real serious when I had some kiosk in 2 malls in Chicago selling the games, and one of my customers came back to me and said, Leah, I love your game. Me and my daughter was having a troubled relationship, and after playing your game, it has brought us closer together. I'm like, wow, okay. I'm over here changing lives and bringing people closer together. This is it. This is it. On top of me facing my fears. So it's kind of crazy how what blessings will come your way once you push yourself and face those fears head on. So those were my signs. Like this is it. And I really enjoy what I do. I love it. Sometimes I do it too much where people have to. My mom, my dad, my boyfriend have to tell me like, okay, well, self-care is the best care. What you gonna do for yourself.
Right, right, right.
So
When you do something you love, you definitely can't get wrapped up in it for sure.
definitely.
So I want to ask as well. You mentioned, so a family helping a family in terms of with your game, but I want to ask was that the moment where you're like, this is where I'm supposed to be, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, creating these games for the culture?
Yes. When I saw that hip hop, well, at that time it was called Catch My Drift. When I saw how easy it was for me to sell these games and how people really enjoyed playing them, like, I came up with a script and it works. People can be bored and I can just talk to anybody standing in line and say, hey, and ask them to get some slang words, and they enjoy it. So the feelings people get from having a good time enjoying the game makes, for me, is priceless. So that's what I enjoy. It makes me feel good to see that I'm creating these experiences to make people happy. Whatever you may be going through in life, you'll forget about it for that moment, and you're in the moment, in the present moment, enjoying yourself and having a good time with family and friends. So yes, that's definitely when I knew, like, yeah, this is it. This is me. Let's go full force, 100%. And I realized, okay, like, these games are doing great, but I want to make sure that I can do this and quit my 9 to 5. So I also owned real estate, so that helped out a lot. But I had to kind of pivot to make sure that I was able to, handle my own money and pay my own bills without having a 9 to 5. So that's when I started to pivot towards hosting game experiences. So not only are we selling products, but we're going to make sure you play them too by coming to our game nights. So that really helped me, quit the 9 to 5 and do it on the regular.
Hey, y'all getting game here. I know y'all listening. She just gave y'all a key to the game right there.
Yeah.
If you didn't catch it, kind of rewind it back about 30, 45 seconds, you'll catch exactly what she was saying. Now, Leah, you definitely told us about all the games or anything like that that you have going on. Of course, just entertainment.com is where you can gather those games. Are there any other things that you want to talk about that you have going on in terms of just play entertainment that people need to know about?
Absolutely. We have I'm working on scaling the brand and with the app. So this app that we're working on is going to be called our Just Play All Day app, and it's going to help our brand ambassadors host events and sell our games in their city. So Monday through Friday, you'll have somewhere to go. Subscribers can subscribe to the app where they can pay a monthly fee to go to a certain number of games per month. They can do a free drop-in. And this is a great way for event planners or inspired event planners to push their brand. So not only are we helping you make a starting off $1,000 a week to 10 G's a month, we're also helping you build confidence in yourself and position yourself and your brand as far as being an entertainer. So we're working on that. We have some fun events coming up this summer in Nashville. Our next event we have is June the 14th. It's called Afro Splash. We always host a pool party every month, at least once a month during the summertime at Alvine Linyards. And it's always the most talked about event of the summer. We have pool party games, Battle of the Sexes games. Oops, I keep on talking and moving this. But this one is Afro Splash. So that means we're going to have reggae music, Caribbean food. It's a whole vibe. So do not miss out. And you can grab your tickets at justplayentertainment.com and go ahead. And we have a 2-for-1 deal right now. So bring your friend and come on out and hang out with us.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut that clip so I can make a promo for you. But but yeah, definitely a lot of good information there, a lot of great things, and a lot of just trusting your gut and trusting what you believe in to get to where you want to go. But of course, there's always things called hurdles, and there's things called advice that help you along as well. We're gonna get into those different hurdles that you overcame or came across, and of course the advice. But we're going to do that right after this commercial break on This Moment Works.
A shift. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business.
All right, and we are back on This Woman Works. So, like I mentioned before the commercial break, we're going to talk about different things that come across your path that can distract you, like hurdles. Of course, we're going to talk about advice as well, but first we're going to dig into these hurdles. Now, I know in doing something that a lot of people have probably never done or never tried to do, there are some hurdles that you come across. So, what is one hurdle that you came across in your journey, and how did you overcome it?
One hurdle I would say is just pretty much the hurdle. Like when you start off with your business, you're by yourself and you don't really have any help. So you're doing everything, and a lot of the times you may think you're being productive, but you're really wasting time because if you're not making any money, you may be doing the same thing over and over again, and it's not producing any income. So I've had plenty of hurdles, especially around COVID and things like that. And the way that I've overcame my hurdles is there's so many ways to, if you're not able to afford a employee to help you out, there are so many different ways. One would be to get an intern. And I have the key to that. All you have to do is go on Indeed, put a one-pager together that talks about the position, the credit hours, all that good stuff. And once the student finds you, then all you have to do is go to handshake.com, and Handshake will connect you to the admission advisor department of that school. So once you go to Handshake, you put in what school that student goes to, and then they will make sure that they connect the student with the credit hours and all that good stuff. And you can even give them like $100 stipend once a month or something at the end of the semester, something that's really, really small, but you don't have to because they just want the credit hours. So there's always ways to get over. Only bad thing about that is, you have them for a semester and then what? Are you going to be able to afford to pay them to come back? Or if not, then you have to do it all over again. So that kind of sucks. Another option would be Fiverr. Fiverr helps me out tremendously when it comes to like doing certain jobs. If I want them to add all my products to Amazon and TikTok and Pinterest and all that stuff, and Fiverr really helps me with coming up with the designs for the games. So when people say you don't have a team, well, I do don't think you don't have a team. You do. Whoever's your Fiverr person, that's your team. Your internship person, that's your team. And then the lovely world of AI, I use Chat GPT every day, all day. That Chat GPT has become my business bestie. So it's all about the words that you use and how you can get the solutions that you want. Chat GPT will create spreadsheets for me. It'll give me like a planner idea, even outside of entrepreneurship. If you want to learn how to change your diets. Okay, Chad, I want low sodium, no cholesterol. Give me some foods that I can eat. So you'll be surprised how Chad can help you out, even if you have problems with your relationship. But people don't know how to use Chat GPT for entrepreneurship, and it's amazing how much you can get done, how much time you can save if you know how to use it right. And even paying like $20 a month will even make it even more customized to your brand. So don't sleep on Chat or all the other ones they have out for Google and all that. I believe they're all the same. So don't sleep on all the tools that we have around us to help us become successful at a low rate while you're growing your brand.
Right. Noted. All right. Now, what during your journey, I'm pretty sure that you received some advice. What is the biggest bit of advice that you have received over your journey?
I would say the more no's you get brings you closer to a yes. That saying has really stuck with me. Being an entrepreneur, we can always get disappointed so quick when we get told no, or you have to be consistent, sending out emails trying to gain new business. Just because they didn't respond the first or second time doesn't mean it's time for you to give up. Get out in these streets and meet people. You'll be surprised how far you can get just by opening up your mouth. So you know you got to just be more consistent and be a go-getter. Sometimes you might need some motivation. Find you a real life business bestie outside of Chat GPT, somebody that's also an entrepreneur, so y'all can hold each other accountable. That really helps, because you'd be surprised who's struggling with you, who's struggling as well when you don't even know about it. And start going to networking events and finding those people that you can collab with. What's helped me grow over the years is partnerships. At my events in the past, I'm like, woo, it's just not enough people. So how can I grow my brand and get more people to come? So utilize partnerships, and that way you can use that partner's audience, and then vice versa, they can use your audience. So it's a it helps both parties out. So
Mhm.
uh, take advantage of what you can, and you can ask Chat, hey Chat, I need some help with actually Chat gave me the idea to reach out to other businesses and co-brand and do events together and things like that. So you'll be surprised. Just don't give up. Don't give up, and always seek advice, and always try to get as much information as you can via YouTube. YouTube University is what I like to call it. Chat GPT.
Yeah, definitely. I've heard YouTube University a few times. The guy that's the founder of Actively Black, he basically said that's how he built his website and everything. YouTube University,
Yes.
studying. He didn't have enough money to pay somebody to build a whole website, so he learned how to do it himself. That
Wow.
was awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's major.
Now, of course, there are people that want to be entrepreneurs or may have some ideas that are kind of a little bit more outside of the box, like your idea was, which is an absolutely great idea, by the way.
Thank you.
Um, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, what is the best advice you have for anyone that may want to kind of follow your entrepreneurial path? So it's something that maybe people will kind of look at a little strange, like, what is this? Something like that, something of that nature.
I would say, don't let anyone dim your light. If you have this great idea, then do it. If you have, and you're telling people your idea, like, I don't know, because my a family member, I won't say who she was, but a family member of mine was like, I like what you're doing with your little, she ain't say little, but because it was a different time frame, but with your little business. But
Mhm.
you ever think about being what she say, a stewardess, a flight attendant? No, that's your job. That's what you want to do. That's your dream. If you have a dream, and if you want to become a game creator, then do the work to get more information. Start following game creators and making relationships. That's what I have done. All the Black game creators that's out there, I always like to reach out to, and even host a live game show and push their event, push their game. As we got
Mhm.
to stick together, and we're stronger together than separate, especially the Black community. So we also offer consulting. So if you have a game idea, board game, digital game, whatever it is, we can offer consulting and help you build your idea from a paper idea up to a physical, actually analog game, with design, copyright, and all that good stuff. So we can help you with consulting as well.
Wow, I'm learning a lot of stuff. Consulting too, brand ambassadors, consulting. Is there anything that the Queen of Fun does not do? I don't think there is anything that she doesn't do. But Leah, thank you for coming on the show. Of course, it's in the end of the show though, but we do have a game. It's called the speed round. We got 10 random questions
Okay.
for you.
All right. Let's
It's
go.
going to be fun.
I'm excited.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie?
Yep.
Uh, I'm gonna go classic with it and say The Last Dragon.
Oh man, that's me right there all day.
You teach
Yeah.
me some moves.
Leroy, Leroy. I remember that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Uh, Favorite song in rotation.
Uh, uh, it's this song called. You may not know about it. It's a Chicago thing, but it's I can't understand that, baby. I don't know. I can't think of the name of it. I'm sorry, but
That's okay. I was just like trying to catch it on. It kind of sounded like the music you'll play on Saturday morning
make
when
me
you
move.
cleaning up in
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Yep. It's kind
Okay,
of like an old school house music song, a little bit, little bit.
gotcha. Okay. Favorite childhood memory.
Hmm. Favorite childhood memory. I would say that's a good one. I would say my favorite childhood memory is when I was in day camp during the summertime. I was really inspired and I enjoyed the games that we played. And they would always offer like a carnival and things like that. So I would say it was just hanging out with the community, trying to learn how to swim and going to day camp every day during the summertime.
All right. Your favorite artist currently.
My favorite artist. Currently, I would say I love me some Afro beats and reggae. So I'll say Tim's. Tim's is one of my
Okay.
favorites right now.
All right. All right. Let's see. Worst movie you've ever seen.
Wow. The worst movie I've ever seen. That's a good one. I may need more than 10 seconds for that one.
That's okay.
You
Take your
might,
time.
okay, the worst
Or do
movie.
you want me to come back to it?
Yeah, come back to it. Let me think about that.
All right. Let's see. Let me make a note here and make sure of that.
Worst
All
movie.
right. Favorite food.
My favorite food is I'm ashamed to say it because I'm trying to stop eating it, but fried chicken. Sorry.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yes, it
Ain't
is.
nothing wrong, ain't nothing wrong with the bird. Ain't nothing wrong with the bird. Just might have to get grilled a little bit sometimes. That's all.
Exactly. Yeah. Rotisserie or something.
Favorite restaurant.
Favorite restaurant. I would say a Bonefish Grill.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Favorite vacation you went on.
Favorite vacation would be hmm. I would say Jamaica.
Jamaica. One place I have not been yet, but hey, we'll
Jamaica.
go there one day.
To
All
the
right. These next two are going to be fun too.
You
Next
say
two
what?
questions. These next two questions are going to be fun too.
Okay.
If you're at dinner with one person, dead or alive, and you're able to pick their brain, who would that person be?
Hmm. Dead or alive. I would say it would be a tie between maybe Prince and Michael Jackson. It's
Okay.
maybe I'll even say Prince. He just seems he's just so smart, and I can tell he has a great spirit, and he was really open when he was having conversations and being interviewed. So yeah, I would say Prince.
Okay. All right. Who would play you in a biopic?
Who would play me?
Mhm.
Maybe Lauren London. Lauren London.
Okay. All
I just
right.
said it because
Okay.
when I have long hair, people always say you resemble Lauren London, so I'll go with her.
Okay. All right. Now we're gonna go back to the worst movie you've ever seen.
I think I'm gonna go with one of Tyler Perry movies, like we'll say Diary of a Madman. One of those is Madman. How is that the?
Mad Black Woman.
There we go.
Yeah. I remember that one because you had Kimberly Elise was in that movie, and Shamar Moore was in there with the fake braids.
Like, yeah, with that wig terrible. Like, what's going on?
Um,
I
and
couldn't
then
even
it was
watch
on.
it because I was so distracted from the hair.
So, Tyler's gonna have at least one person in there he's gonna distract you with.
Exactly. He's been doing better
Every
though. He's
movie.
doing better.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one. I mean, I'm still waiting on somebody to give me one of Kevin Hart's movies, but nobody's done it yet.
I don't even think I've seen any of Kevin Hart's movies. I think I know.
Soul Plane. Soul Plane is a movie. I'm just like,
Oh,
I shake my
really?
head at Soul Plane every time I see it. Like,
I forgot
that's
about.
just me. That's just me. But hey, we definitely cool. When you said Barry Gordon's The Last Dragon. I was like, oh yes, 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 yes. Because I remember let's see, was it Show Enough? Am I the meanest? Show Enough. Am
Yeah.
I the baddest? Show
So,
Enough.
and
It's
then
my Converse.
right. The little boy was so funny. He just thought he was so
Yep,
tough.
Richie.
Get your hands
Richie.
off my girlfriend. I said, get
Yep.
your hands off my woman.
Yep. Yeah, Richie was hilarious, especially when Richie was breakdancing out the ropes. That was hilarious too.
Right. And it was like you never saw them. Did they play anything else after that?
I can't remember anything Richie was in.
Yeah.
Vanity, Vanity, great. Well, God rest her soul. She passed away.
Yeah.
But I do remember that at one point she became actual reverend in church. I was
Wow.
like, I was like, hold up, is that Vanity? Vanity, reverend in church
Really?
now?
I thought she was doing some nasty stuff.
Nah, I think she became a reverend in church at one point. I
Okay.
believe so. Now I'm curious I'm gonna look it up. I'm pretty sure that's what she became before she passed away.
Okay. I'm gonna look it
So
up too because I thought that she was getting a lot of bad publicity on doing something like a
then,
stripper type stuff. I'm gonna look it up. Maybe I got something mixed up. I don't know.
then also, the funny part is another person I'll give you that's actually I think in the ministry now too. Montel Jordan.
Really?
I believe he is too. Yeah, I
Wow.
believe he's in the ministry now too. Which yeah, we won't be getting some of his songs, him to sing him some of his songs anymore.
Right. Okay, Montel. All right.
Yeah, 6'7" guy in the pulpit, that's a little intimidating.
You got me trying to imagine it now. I'm like, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, that is the speed round. We're all wrapped up. Thank you again for coming on the show. Leia Avery, aka the Queen of Fun. Can you tell everyone where they can find you on social media and any other information you would like to give?
Yes, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for having me. You can follow us on IG and Facebook under Just Play Entertainment. Follow me personally, Leia Avery, spelled out as you see it, LeiaAvery. You can get our games at justplayentertainment.com and find out about our upcoming events. If you're in Nashville, want to grab the game in person, you can go to the National Museum of African American Music. We sell them at Akibalon as well. Amazon, Walmart.com, everywhere.
Wow, I took a little notes over here during the show, so I need to make a note on that too. But thank you for coming on the show. Of course, if you don't know, I'm the host of the show, Mike Patton. You can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, I won't call it X because the only X I recognize is DMX and Malcolm X. So on the artist formerly known as Twitter, you can find me on there, Mike Patton 82. That's MikePaton 82. And of course, you can find me on Instagram and Threads at the CHA, not THE _general_MP. You can also find, let's see, This Woman Works on all listening platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. And we are also on YouTube at the Mike Patton Network. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please go ahead and subscribe, smash the subscribe button, click the bell on YouTube, whatever you want to do on all the other listening platforms as well. Hey, I greatly appreciate it. But hey, this show is about you, Leia Avery, the Queen of Fun. I hope you all enjoyed the show and stay tuned for the next episode of This Woman Works. Coming to you next week. We're out. Peace.
Bye.